In the soft morning light, you dressed up in your maths uniform quietly entered Jungkook's room, tiptoeing towards his bed. As you reached out to wake him, your breath hissed on seeing his peaceful face. What in sunlight? It was a sight to behold. His face is relaxed and his peaceful expression enhances his charm. The way his hair falls gently on his forehead adds to his appealing appearance. You couldn't help but be mesmerized by his captivating beauty. You lightly slapped your cheeks in order to get back in your senses, and then shook his shoulder to wake him up. Mr. John, wake up. It's time for your office. Jungkook stirred, slowly opening his eyes. Good morning, sir. It's time to wake up. What time is it? He asked in his raspy voice. It's almost 8 a.m., sir. You have a busy day ahead. He yawned and finally sat up, rubbing his eyes. As he did, he couldn't help but notice the way the morning sunlight highlighted his handsome features. Jungkook noticed your silence, then gazed at you and found you drooling over him. He slightly smirked. Is something wrong, Miss Van? You came back to your senses on hearing him and cursed yourself internally. No, sir. I thought you were drooling over me just now. He said in cold tone with a smirk plastered on his face. Yes, no, sir. I know I'm handsome, but you need to concentrate on your work, otherwise, you'll get scolded by my mom, he said while getting up from the bed. Isn't he so full of himself? You mumbled inaudibly, but he heard you. I can hear you, Miss Van, he said nonchalantly while going towards the washroom. Your eyes widened. You put your palm on your mouth. Can't you stay quiet for some minutes? You scolded yourself, then made your way outside the room. Jungkook came downstairs with a newspaper in his hand and then took seat on the dining table. While reading, his eyes landed on you, who was making breakfast. He couldn't take his eyes off you, as he thought you were beautiful. He noticed that you were struggling to cook because your hairs keep falling on your face, so he slowly approached you. As you were busy cooking, you didn't notice Jungkook standing behind you, but you flinched when you felt someone's figure running on your back. You recognized from the sensual touch that it was Jungkook, as only his touch can make you shiver like that. So you didn't react and let him do what he wanted. You could feel his intense gaze on your neck. He longingly gazed your neck, every cell in his body warning him to look away. But he was unable to. He never wanted anything as much as he wanted to your neck right now. Then, with the immense courage, he carefully gathered your hairs from the back and then skillfully tied it into a neat one while saying, your hairs seem to be causing trouble just like you, Miss Van, he said in his cold yet raspy voice. Your cheeks turned red with the close proximity, but then you realized that he just called you trouble. You're fed up with his dual nature. You think that he's unbelievable. One moment he is all romantic, then in the another moment he becomes cold as ice. Thanks for the help, Mr. John, but you didn't need to do this. Ungrateful people, he said, then made his way to the dining table. Quickly bring my breakfast, he ordered coldly. Yes, I'm bringing it. What the you were thinking, John? Have some control, man. It's been a month you are working here in John Mansion. You were appointed by Mrs. John, that is Jungkook's mother. Jungkook is your boss, who is cold and rude sometimes. But you couldn't deny your attraction towards him. You had always admired him from a distance. You worked tirelessly in his mansion, your heart longed for him. But you knew that the gap between both of your worlds was enormous. Jungkook is a cold and reserved type of person. No man was allowed to enter his room. You don't know how a get alliance to enter. You were thinking about him while cleaning his room. You unknowingly dropped one of his watch and it got broken. You panicked and you quickly picked it up. Oh God, what have I done? I'm dead for sure. You mumbled, then put that watch on its place. I'll apologize to him once he will be back. You were cleaning the large mirror while thinking about today's incident. You were a little scared and you wondered how Jungkook will react when he will get to know that you accidentally broken his watch. You were in your thoughts, but then suddenly you got flinched by Jungkook's cold yet sharp voice. I allowed you to enter my room. I didn't give you permission to touch my things, he said in cold yet firm tone, with his sharp gaze fixated on you. You shivered at his sharp gaze. You looked down on the floor. Mr. John, I accidentally broke. Don't cross the line, Miss Ryan, and never touch my things, he warned sternly. You felt awful, your heart sank. You tried to hold back your tears as you couldn't hold his rudeness. I'm sorry, Mr. John. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. You stammered while looking down at your feet, hoping for forgiveness. But he just ignored you and went away from there. You looked up at his disappearing figure. Finally, the tears streamed down your cheeks, which you were holding back. His words pierced your heart as they echoed in your ears. In that moment, you felt vulnerable and alone, wishing for a way to erase the hurtful memory. Why bring this dinner to Jungkook's room? He will eat in his room today. You nodded, then took his dinner and made your way towards his room. Jungkook is working on the laptop, but he is unable to concentrate as his mind is filled with your thoughts. He is unable to get you out of his mind. He had no idea of the inner turmoil he had caused in you. At that time, when he saw the tears in your eyes, his anger softened. He realized he had scolded you too harshly. That's why he quickly left from there, and the watch, so important to him, was not worth making you feel so miserable. You silently entered inside his room with the dinner. Your dinner, sir, you said while looking down at the floor. On hearing your voice, Jungkook's gaze landed on you, and he didn't know why. His heart ached seeing your pale face. Your nose was still red because of crying. Jungkook in mind. Why it's killing me when she's upset? Why can't I wear her sadness? God, this girl is really controlling my mind. Why suddenly I feel the urge to comfort her? Maybe because I am the reason behind her sadness. Put that on the table, he said while looking at you. You nodded, then walked to the table and pushed the plate on the table. You turned around and bowed to him before making your way outside the room. But suddenly you halted on your place when you heard his voice. Wait a minute, Van, he said, then got down the bed and approached you. Your back was facing him. You turned around and spared a glance at him before shifting your gaze back on the floor. Do you need anything else, sir? You asked in low voice. I want you to know whatever I said, I didn't mean it. So don't be upset, he said hesitatingly while looking everywhere but you. You surprisingly lifted your head up to look at him as soon as you heard him. Why are you explaining yourself to me, sir? Of course I am explaining to you so that you don't overthink. I mean, if you'll overthink, you'll make further mistakes. So to avoid them, you scoffed internally at your thought that he might care about your sadness. That is why he is apologizing. Don't worry, sir. I'll try to not to make mistakes. Again, you bowed, then left from there. Jungkook ran his hand through his hairs frustratingly, while cursing himself. What the man, you can't even apologize to her nicely. Now she is upset more than she already was. You were doing the dishes. Suddenly Jungkook approached you. You didn't woke me up today. Can I ask the reason behind it? He asked, raising his brows. I thought I was not allowed to enter someone's room, you said sarcastically while continuing washing the dishes. Then why did you enter in last night to bring dinner? Because Mrs. Jeon told me to do so. I can't deny her order. You said, looking straight in his eyes to find out if he seriously doesn't want you to enter his room. Jungkook sighed, then took a step closer to you, which made your heart beat fast, but you continued doing the dishes. No one is allowed to enter my room except you. It proves that I never refused you to enter in it. If you are unable to understand such a simple thing, then consider yourself a dumb. He whispered in your ear, then smacked your head lightly with his finger. Understanding his words, you shifted your gaze at him. You could feel the sincerity in his words, and it filled your heart with warmth and happiness. Suddenly, he tugged your hair strand behind your ear. Your cheeks turned red. I won't be coming home tonight, he said, looking straight in your eyes. Okay, see you tomorrow then, you said with a fake smile. Take care of yourself while I'm gone. Eat and sleep well. We are not friends. Then why are you? I never said we were, he said casually while cutting you off, then went away from there. You scoffed unbelievably while looking at his disappearing figure. Sometimes he is just unbelievable. It's 1 a.m. and here you are waiting for Jungkook, even though he told you he won't be coming home tonight. Suddenly you heard the door opening sound. So you curiously looked up and found Jungkook entering inside. Your heart skipped a beat and you felt relieved on seeing him home. Jungkook was casually going towards the stairs to go upstairs, but suddenly his gaze fell on you. A smile formed on his lips, knowing you were waiting for him. He then approached you. I told you I won't be coming home tonight. Still you waited for me, he said while taking steps closer to you. Who waited for you? I just came to drink water. You stammered nervously, struggling to find the words. Jungkook chuckled internally at your cuteness. He felt the urge to tease you. I guess water is available in the kitchen, not in the living room. I know I already drank the water, so I was just about to go upstairs, you said nervously while taking steps backward. Why would you go upstairs when your room is downstairs? He asked teasingly, taking steps more closer to you. Suddenly there was no distance left between you and him, so you panicked and lost balance and fall on the couch. Jungkook didn't back off. He leaned in and hovered over you. Your heartbeat fastened with the close proximity. You shivered beneath him. Your lips were just an inches away. You were hella nervous right now. You know you are bad at lying, he said, gazing at your lips. Why are you doing this? You stammered nervously. Doing what, Miss Kimban? He asked, looking in your eyes before shifting his gaze back to your lips. Get off me, Mr. John, you said sternly yet nervously. Jungkook rubbed his thumb on your lower lip and then looked straight in your eyes. Wine, he called you in raspy voice. You hummed nervously while lowering your gaze. Your heart is beating so fast, he said while cupping your face, probably because of you. His heart skipped a beat on hearing you. His cheeks turned red. He instantly got up from you and cleared his throat nervously. You looked at him, then you two got up and fixed your skirt. He nervously looked at you, then slid his one hand in his pocket before asking, are you still upset? Will you coax me if I am? Of course I have to, 'cause I can't see sadness in your eyes, he said nonchalantly, but your cheeks flushed and your heartbeat increased. Wine, please, don't be upset anymore. At whatever the I said, I didn't mean any of it, he said sincerely. Alright, then make sure to wake me up in the morning. Am I getting back to my duty? Of course you are. What if I make mistake again? Jungkook sighed then cupped your face. You won't. You are perfect at everything you do. You are lying. I'm not lying, Van. I mean it. A smile formed on your lips on hearing him. Then suddenly Jungkook pecked your nose and ran away from there. You touched your nose, then blushed. What has gotten into him today? He is acting all different from usual. Jungkook came outside and sat with his mom, but suddenly his gaze fell on you, who was watering the plants. He admired you for a minute, then said, "I think I'm in love, mom." His mom got surprised and glad at the same time. So she looked at him before saying, "Really? Who is that girl, Jungkook?" she asked curiously. He didn't reply as he was busy admiring you. His mom got confused and followed his gaze, which landed on you. Her eyes widened with surprise. "Are you sure, Jungkook, it's her?" "I'm damn sure, mom," he said, still looking at you. Mr. John started thinking something. No, Jungkook noticed her silence, then shifted his gaze back to his mom. "What happened, mom? Don't tell me you're like those typical moms in dramas who doesn't let their son marry some poor kinda girl. 'Cause even if you are, I'm not changing my decision. Are you sure about your feelings for Wine?" "Yes, mom, I'm sure. I can't stop thinking about her ever since she has entered in this house. What is it you think other than love? Did she knows that you love her?" "No, mom, not yet." "Then confess to her as soon as possible." "Sure, mom, I'll soon tell her about my feelings." Good. It's a miracle for two people to meet and fall in love. I'll support you. You should live the life you want." She assured him, then patted his shoulder before going away from there. A smile tugged at his lips on knowing that his mother is going to support him. He took last glance of you, then left for the office. After finishing all the chores, you were cleaning Jungkook's room and you were just done with it. You got so tired due to doing all the work, you thought to take a nap. "Mr. John will come in the evening. Till then, I should take a short nap here. I am feeling too lazy to go downstairs, and also it feels so peaceful here because it's his room." Today, Jungkook come earlier than usual. The reason is you. He is unable to control himself to confess his feelings to you. Those feelings for you which he have realized recently. And now he just wants to confess and make you his forever. Jungkook searched the whole house but didn't find you anywhere. At last he decided to get fresh first, then ask someone about your whereabouts. He entered inside his room while removing his coat, but suddenly his gaze landed on you, who was sleeping peacefully on the couch. A small smile formed on his face as he approached you. He got down on his knees and leaned closer to your face to take a proper look of you. "You are sleeping comfortably here, making me restless," he whispered while chuckling. "My girl must be so tired," he said while pecking your forehead. Suddenly, you felt movements which disturbed your sleep, so you slowly opened your eyes, but soon got startled as and your eyes widened with shock on seeing Jungkook near you. You quickly got up from the couch and stood up straight and fixed your skirt. You panicked at the thought that you got caught sleeping while working hours by your boss, that too in his own room. "I'm sorry, Mr. John, I just unintentionally dozed off," you said panickingly while looking down on the floor. "Kimban, it's all right, don't panic. I swear it was not intentional, Mr. John." You again apologized, getting more panicked at the thought that he may complain about this to Mrs. John and she may fire you. Jungkook was being impatient. He failed to understand why you were being nervous and panicked just because of a silly thing. But one thing was sure, that he was not liking the fact that you were begging him to forgive you when you didn't even make any mistake. "If you said sorry one more time, I'll not think before you," he said while taking steps closer to you. "What you being you?" In your nervous and panicked state, you didn't realize the serious warning which he gave you just now after getting pissed off by your sorries. "I'm really sorry, Mr. John. Don't complain to your mom about." You were saying this while visiting your fingers what Jungkook cut off you. So you really want me to, he said in a serious tone, then slide his hand around your neck and pull you closer before smashing his on yours, making your eyes widen in surprise. The sudden caught you off guard. You felt your knees getting weak. Being close to him was a thing you have always desired, but right now you wanted the ground to swallow you. He was not planning to stop your lips. You were feeling out of breath, so you lightly pushed him and get away from him. Did I ever complain about you to mom that I will do now? Tell me, Ryan. You shook your head in denial when you remembered that he never complained about you to his mom. You relieved a heavy sigh on realizing that you are safe from Mrs. Jones' scoldings. What? Why did you? Me, Mr. John, you asked while visiting your fingers. Jungkook sighed and came closer to you, decreasing the distance between both of you. Because you ignored my serious warning, Kim Ban, and because you are the only woman I have ever wanted to. Because every part of you is mine, he whispered against your lips. His words knocked out air from your lungs. You were perplexed. Everything for your small heart was too much to handle. You looked away with flushed cheeks, which made Jungkook chuckle huskily. Fidgeting your fingers with your head hung down, you cleared your throat before saying, "What do you mean, Mr. John?" you asked hesitantly. "I mean exactly what you heard, Miss Kim," he said while casing you between his arms and the wall. "Are you really this much dumb, or you pretend to be dumb in front of me?" "Anyo, I don't." "So that means you really are dumb?" he asked teasingly, which made you frown. His words made you angry on him. He just always calls you dumb. Can't he say anything good to you? "If you have nothing good to say, let me go. I have other works to finish," you said while looking another side. He chuckled huskily as he found you cute in your anger mode. "Okay, I'm sorry, my dear angry word. I'll not call you dumb. I just calls you that out of love. I don't mean it at all," he said, stroking your hairs. "You are lying," you mumbled while pouting. Jungkook again chuckled and then pecked your pout. You gasped. "I'm not. You are just perfect. You are everything I never expected, everything I never knew I'd need." Your cheeks flushed at his statement. You looked down slyly. "You didn't told me yet why you me." "Because I started liking you when, in fact, I like you crazy amount. I'm wild crazy for you. I love the way you get sigh when I get closer to you. I love everything about you, Van, and I know you too like me from the core of your heart." Jungkook confessed while extremely close to you. Your noses were just touching. You didn't dare to look at him. Your heart felt like it will come out in your throat any time. "You don't mean that, right, Mr. John?" you asked hesitatingly. "Yes, I do, Van. I know what I feel. So I mean each and every thing which I said just now," he uttered softly. A beautiful smile formed on your face. You lowered your gaze, then rested your forehead against his, and closed your eyes to feel the movement. He also cupped your face. "Say more stuff like that." Jungkook laughed lightly before packing your lips, and did as you said because he'll do everything you will tell him to do. "I love you, Kim Band. See it in my eyes. I love you to the point where I want you to marry me," he uttered while caressing your cheeks. "Will you marry me, Kim Band?" he asked hopefully while looking deep in your eyes. "Mr. John, I..." Jungkook cut off you by putting his finger on your lips. "It's Jungkook for you." Jungkook, how can I marry you? He again cut off you as he understood what you were about to say. Don't worry about mom. She has already agreed to our relationship. It's just you left to accept me as yours. You looked down feeling so overwhelmed. This was the thing that you ever desired. But right now, when he was confessing to you and proposing you for marriage, you were nervous as hell. He understood your hesitation and kissed your cheeks gently. Don't worry, Van, I'll cherish you forever. I'll give you the moon, the stars, anything you ask. Just tell me your true feelings, and I will give you the whole world. He said sincerely. His eyes were looking deep into yours, while his thumb were busy caressing your cheeks. His words built confidence in you, and finally you decided to confess your feelings, which you were worrying deep inside your heart from long time. Ever since the moment my gaze fell upon you, my heart is beating for you. I am not able to get you out of my system. You are cold and infuriating, and sometimes little scary too. But you are also patient and supportive too. I love the way you smile. I want to tell you to do it more often, but I didn't. And yes, Jungkook, I will marry you. You confessed everything while looking deep into his eyes. He laughed lightly before leaning more closer to you. About my smile, that's the hottest thing any woman ever said to me. His lips are extremely close to yours, and this time you didn't hold back yourself. You pulled his head down for a, and he smirked at your boldness before you wagged hungrily. After a while, your both pulled out from the. Then Jungkook cupped your face. Did I ever told you how much you are? He asked, whispering against your lips. You cutely shook your head in denial, while pouting, which made Jungkook laugh lightly at your cuteness. He pinched your cheeks before saying, "You are so cute and at the same time, I go wild crazy every time I look at you." Your cheeks turned crimson. You looked down slyly and hit his chest playfully. He chuckled and pulled you into his embrace while securely wrapped his arms around your waist, and you wrapped your arms around his neck. From that moment, they both knew that had bloomed in their lives. They confessed their feelings, and together they embarked on a new chapter in their lives, leaving behind the cold and rude billionaire that Jungkook once was. Has melted in his heart, and they found happiness in each other's arms.